of all the different addictions I talk about on this channel, addictions to nicotine, addictions to vaping, THC addiction, I think one of the most damaging ones is addiction to pornography or addiction to adult media content. And in today's video, I want to explain why I think that is. Right off the bat, I think one of the scariest things about pornography addiction is the person who's addicted, and I've been in this person's shoes before, they don't realize the damage that it's doing to them. So, for example, if someone is smoking cigarettes for a long period of time, or if someone's doing some other drug or some other substance, addicted to alcohol, let's say, they feel the health side effects and they know that it's related to that substance, right? So if someone gets lung cancer and they smoked cigarettes, they know that that's a consequence of cigarette addiction. If someone's vaping a lot and they're realizing that their athletic ability is going down because they're not able to perform the same in the gym or in their sport, they know that that's due to vaping. Porn is a little different though, because I think porn is greatly depletes a person's energy by a lot. Okay. I think it really, like, quite literally sucks the life out of a person. And I don't think that the user is usually aware of this. So here someone is watching porn every night before they go to bed, and they're going through their day-to-day activities and they're exhausted. They're fatigued all the time. They're constantly tired. They have this weird social anxiety. They have this weird depression. They have anhedonia. They don't find joy in real relationships and real connections and in real life activities anymore. And I think it's hard to tie that to pornography addiction. So I just imagine here you have someone sitting in the doctor's office, maybe a 30, 40-year-old male who's not disclosing that they have a pornography addiction. And here they are suffering from fatigue, muscle pain, insomnia, all these random health things that just don't seem to make sense. And I'm worried that porn addiction for a lot of people could be the root cause of a lot of those things. Now, another reason why I think pornography is particularly damaging is because there's not necessarily the support networks out there like we have for, AA has Alcoholics Anonymous, MA, Marijuana Anonymous, NA, Narcotics Anonymous. A lot of people are scared or embarrassed to talk about addiction to pornography, whether it's with a healthcare professional or with a family member, with someone else who's going to support them. And rightfully so to an extent, because people are oftentimes very judgmental about this topic, right? So I think that's another thing that makes porn particularly damaging. It's embarrassing for a lot of people, and I think that makes it really hard to get support. I think it truly is one of those addictions where you can really feel alone at times. And for those of you guys watching this, there's great groups out there on Reddit. There's many subreddit forums. I connected a lot of those in the video description if you want to check those out, as well as some other YouTube channels that help with this topic. Now, another major problem that I see with pornography addiction is the accessibility to the drug. And this, I think, creates very high chances of relapse. It's very easy to hop on your phone and visit an adult media content website. It's very easy to go on your computer and access the drug that is pornography. And I think that ease of access, there's no barriers, right? To get weed, even if you have a medical card, you have to get in your car and go get some when you run out. Same thing with a vape, same thing with buying a pack of cigarettes. With porn, as long as you have electricity flowing in your house and a halfway decent internet connection, you have 24/7 access to that drug. And unlike other drugs, pornography doesn't really leave many clues. If someone's smoking weed or drinking alcohol, you can smell that on a person. You can't necessarily smell pornography on a person. A person could really go through day-to-day life and no one would know. No one would have any idea in the world the amount of guilt and shame and discouragement that they're walking around with. And I think that makes porn, again, particularly dangerous when it comes to being an addiction. When it comes to pornography addiction, I think the amount of triggers out there are unlike any other drug. Now, I don't like talking about triggers too much because, if we're talking about quitting vaping and someone's like, well, what triggers you to vape? Well, everything triggered me to vape. Driving in my car, any stressful event, eating food, taking a crap, everything was a trigger. Porn, I think, is different because like social media is a huge trigger. Even your news articles on your iPhone that pop up each day, every now and then they will use very clickbaity photos, maybe some celebrity showing all their cleavage. I remember when they were talking about Billie Eilish or whatever her name is, discussing her addiction to pornography. The photo they used of her was in and of itself pornographic, and that's clickbait. That's intentional to get you to read the article. But I just think there's so many triggers out there, and if a guy or a girl is viewing other people as objects, they're going to get triggered by any little thing. And I think that makes porn very, very, very challenging. Now you're triggered. You have this ease of access. You might not have a support network around you. And I just think it's a very hard addiction to overcome. Now, once you do get into quitting pornography, then you have to deal with withdrawals. And we always talk about no nut November, no FAP, semen retention, and how great life will be. And I really do think you can have a big turnaround in your energy levels, decreased anxiety, increased motivation, all of that stuff. I can almost guarantee that for most people when they quit. But initially, that's not going to be the case. And this lack of understanding of what pornography withdrawal is, or at least this lack of awareness on the topic, I think makes it really dangerous, because then a person's quitting, they feel like complete crap for 7 days, 90 days, and they don't know what's going on. They don't know why is their anxiety worse? Why is their depression worse? Why do they have worse withdrawal symptoms all of a sudden? And I think there's this lack of awareness. And like I said, it's not something we really talk about too often. So then this person relapses. They don't actually quit porn because in their brain, they're trained with that dopamine release. Oh, if I go watch porn, I'm going to feel better again. And they might not even realize that that's a behavior that's occurring, that there's an addictive behavior that's occurring. And it could go even farther than this, because not only do we have all those factors, but look, nowadays with the porn industry, now we have the element of adding money into it. It's almost like hitting a slot machine on some websites out there, right? You can spend more money to get this person to do X, Y, and Z. And that's a rush. It's almost like a gambling rush. So we now have this paid content, and that can certainly hurt a person financially. And then, of course, the impact that pornography can have on someone's relationship. It's responsible in a lot of divorce cases. It's responsible in a lot of broken relationships. And the people might not put two and two together, because it's been something, here you are 30 years old, and this is something that you've been watching since the age of 16. It's just become part of your life. So you don't view it as something that's potentially harmful or something that's potentially damaging, when in reality, pornography could be the central issue to a lot of other issues that you're experiencing throughout your life. So guys, just with all that in mind, going into 2022, this channel is going to cover a lot more on pornography addiction, adult media content addiction. And I've already put out some videos in the past. I linked all of those in the video description below. So why don't you guys follow me to the video description for more resources. I'll see you guys there.